Guys, I'm MartiniRita. I invest for a living and I live in Airbnbs, although I may go and stay somewhere so I can concentrate on this YouTube thing because I think you guys really need to hear what, I don't know, the fucked up shit that happens in finance. Really, like, it's too ridiculous. So I wanted to talk to you guys today about Nikola. Okay, so I don't know, like 2 months ago, somebody brought this up to me in my stream, and they talked about how Nikola was the next Tesla killer, okay? And I gave it its fair shake, but I've been obsessed ever since because I cannot stand the bullshit that is happening, okay? It's I mean, it's really bad, okay? And it especially fits with my investing thesis that management teams are more important than what the company is, okay? Have you ever seen these people, like, whatever they touch turns to gold? Well, Nikola is the company that is basically like a Roomba going over shit, okay? It's going to just fly everywhere. It's not going to clean up, and it's not going to get better, okay? So if you're thinking about keeping your Nikola stock or you're thinking about investing in it, I think that you should consider this information, okay? However, the rest of this is my opinion. This does not constitute financial advice. I am not a licensed financial advisor. I may be fucking wrong about this stuff, okay? So you guys really need to consider that. But let's look at why I am concerned at the management of this company. Okay, guys, let's start about why is this controversy, okay? Because a lot of people basically accuse Nikola of exaggerating, I guess, the capability of his truck, okay? We're going to watch a little bit of it. We're going to go here when he talks about the capabilities of this truck. And this is a video from Hindenburg Research. So you guys need to remember that they are a short seller. So their interests are aligned with the price of Nikola stock going down. So take everything with a grain of salt. Do your own due diligence.
A couple snapshots. This is actually in our truck right now. You'll be able to see it when you get in the truck later tonight. You'll see it up on the screens. They're fully functioning screens. Really incredible. We will have a chain on the seats to prevent people from coming in just for the safety. I don't want someone to end up doing something and driving this truck off the stage. So it's a little expensive, okay? You could probably buy a jet with what it costs to build this thing. So we're going to try to keep people from driving off. But this thing fully functions and works, which is really incredible. And this truck will come to market. I can promise you that. For every doubter out there that said that there's no way this is true.
Okay, so you can hear him claim that it's fully functioning. You know, they wanted to put something across it so nobody got hurt, so it didn't drive off the stage. There's also another part where he refers to it not as a pusher, which is an industry term, as a, I guess they define it as something. We'll look at what they define it as, but let's hear it first, okay?
So how long have you been working on this? Because this is a fully functioning truck right here that we're sitting in. So how long have you guys been working on this?
Years in secrecy. It's been very hard. Some of the people have found out about us over the last 4 or 5 months as we announced some of the lead up to this big event, but it took years and years to get here. This isn't just a pusher like a lot of vehicles that they unveil are just vehicles that don't actually function. This is a fully functioning vehicle, which is really incredible. You can go through, we can change out pretty much everything we want, all the temperatures. I mean, this is a fully functioning vehicle. It's not just a pusher. That's what they call it in the automotive world, a vehicle that they just push and it doesn't move.
All right, so let's go.
Okay, so let's go over to see what the company admitted about this truck. That's the Nikola 1, so don't get confused between the Nikola 1 and the Nikola 2 or the Nikola Tre, okay? And this was prior to their debut as a SPAC and going public, okay? So they said, as Nikola pivoted to the next generation of trucks, it ultimately decided not to invest additional resources into completing the process to make the Nikola 1 drive on its own propulsion. After pivoting, Nikola produced prototypes for the Nikola 2, which are self-propelled and have been frequently demonstrated, beginning with demonstration runs at Nikola World in April 2019. Okay, but by their own admission, they did not they did not invest further funds to run under its own propulsion. Okay? So you decide what you think about that. Because then they released a video that showed it rolling. And I don't have that one because mainly it's been scrubbed off the web. I couldn't find it, but from what I can describe to you is that they took it to a road and pushed it, and it glided on its own propulsion. So you decide. So now what I want to talk to you guys about is the kind of targeted action that they are creating. So today, FT, which is Financial Times, they did an article where they talked about how multiple people are getting DMCA. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with this process, basically, you know, intellectual property is something that is a thing. So if somebody creates a unique work, they own that thing. So on the internet, they can basically claim that it's theirs and stop people from using it. However, there's this thing called fair use. I can use a small clip because I am criticizing or adding to it. It's a derivative work. However, the way that it works on the internet is that someone can issue a DMCA claim to somebody else. And then this person has a limited amount of time to respond to it. So what I want to talk to you guys now about is how Nikola is basically using the DMCA system to possibly silence its critics. Okay, allegedly. Jesus, don't sue me for the love of God. Anyways, so what they're doing is I don't think that they want their Nikola 1 truck that was in motion. Okay, and if you don't understand the joke around the fact that they soapbox derbied the car, the truck down a hill, and you know it was in motion. To me, it would be really tough for me to not realize that it wasn't under its own propulsion. But you know, by their own admission, this wasn't the case. I'm not going to show the video because I don't have it. But what I do know is that multiple YouTubers are getting copyright striked. So Sam Alexander, Tom Nash, I saw 2 other ones, and a video of a guy who seems really concerned because he doesn't I don't think he understands the process. And rightly so, everyone should be concerned, because what I'm hearing from a lot of other creators is that DMCA is in a way easily abused to be used as a way to silence your critics because of the process. It is absolutely illegal, though, to not do your due diligence before you submit a copyright claim. Why? Because here I looked it up, and basically when you claim that someone is using your copyright, something that you own, you have to consider fair use. What is fair use? Okay, so I can use someone else's copyrighted material without their permission if it constitutes fair use, which means it has to be a derivative work. You have to criticize it. You know, you can't just republish someone else's work. But let's read what the courts say. So if a copyright holder ignores or neglects our unequivocal holding, then it must consider fair use before sending a takedown notification. Now, what's really interesting about this is that when you read the FT article and read what the spokesman for Nikola said, they say, YouTube regularly identifies copyright violations of Nikola content and shares the list of videos with us. Based on YouTube's information, our initial action was to submit takedown requests to remove the content that was used without our permission. Going forward, we will evaluate these flagged videos on a case-by-case basis. So, you know, I am not a lawyer. I don't know really, you know, ultimately an expert opinion, but if it seems like they're trying to say that it was an automated instance. However, if you look at Twitter, and I've personally gotten a DMCA, so I kind of agree with this take. Let's go here. So, FYI, Nikola, in my opinion, allegedly, do your own research. This is just his opinion. He says, are mixing a grain of truth, if not a mountain of bullshit. YouTube does have a detection system for picking up use of your clips by other channels, but, and you can see in the picture, I guess it's his clips, and then you can see it from someone else's channel. It is up to the owner of the content how to proceed, if at all, but many YouTubers that he spoke to had a manual claim submitted, which is not through this system. In Steve Markarian's opinion, Nikola is going to pretend they innocently remove videos without thinking about whether they fell under fair use. So to me, this is like the Roomba, right? There's shit everywhere, and you're trying to clean it up with a Roomba. It's just going to keep going everywhere. I don't think culturally Nikola has moved past the misrepresentation of situations. Guys, I've spoke to many marketing people, okay? I've spoken to them, and they don't think that the way that they're handling this is going to make it better for them. Being more controversial isn't going to make people think that you're less controversial. So I just think this is going to get worse before it gets better, and it's something you should definitely consider before you make an investment in them. And I'm going to do a follow-up video about shorting Nikola and kind of the market mechanics around that. If you do want to engage in that. I'm not going to, because shorting is just not a thing that I do, but I think it's something that you really need to look out for, okay? I'll see you guys.